What comes to mind when you think of a non-Western country or non-Western-based countries? Think of Canada, what comes to mind? Most of us, especially if we grew up here, especially if we were educated here, would think of what's wrong in other countries, what the negative aspects that need to be fixed in other countries, the poverty, the women's rights, the this, the that, the whatever, they're the top on our list. When it comes to Canada, we could be picking on these things as well, especially if we work on these, but we have a more rosy picture of what Canada is. And then the question is why? Why is what we're thinking of over there mostly negative, and we don't salute what's amazing in each and every single country first? And why do we salute it here first? So a lot of it is based on how we're trained to see the world, especially if we work in development, and especially if we follow policies that are set internationally in development as well, right? And indicators of development. So usually we end up with what's wrong over there with them. And I see this a lot with my students, whether they're Canadian students or even international students. The first thing they talk about is the corruption in their country, the violence in their country, if they're international students, the anti-women, the, lack of democracy, lack of human rights, security. And then I challenge them and I say, okay, but what's good? There are a lot of good they have that we don't have here. So why don't you start with the good? Because if you start with the negative, then it's easy to say, we're better here, I'm lifting you up. If you start with the positive, you're more on equal grounds. And sometimes perhaps you're lower, depending on the country that you're talking about. So thinking about why we think first negative, what's wrong over there, is really important. Because as you will see, a lot of what's wrong over there is a result of what's happening here and in other countries that interact with these countries over there. So we need to flip the script, to start thinking in a different way so we can understand better the complexity of what's happening.